procession. And that of May 1926 was an historic one, for on that day it was made known that the Trades Union Council, in support of the miners, was considering a general strike, a strike in which no single union ticket holder in the country would go to work. For Britain, a step unprecedented. Well, as Auntie Jessie said in the church bazaar that same afternoon, what airs these people give themselves. A private strike, perhaps, but a general strike, well, I mean to say. That weekend, the trade union delegates went to Downing Street to wrangle in hopes that they wouldn't have to take such a drastic step. But no go.
This is London calling the British Isles. A crisis. All efforts at compromise between the Trade Union Council and the government regarding the position in the coal fields have failed. We regret to have to announce that a general strike will begin tomorrow at midnight.
That weekend, most people went about their pleasures with the philosophy that whatever a general strike was, it was something for tomorrow, and tomorrow would be another day. And when tomorrow came, it was.
This is London calling the British Isles. With all public transport paralysed, those who still had work to go to had to find their own means of getting there. The government's appeal for volunteers is being answered.
Volunteers, now there was a do if you like. They were driving buses, trams, trains, delivery vans, and doing everything they weren't supposed to do. Which way do you go, Governor? Well, which way do you want to go, old chap? I recall seeing a tram with a driver, a conductor, 2 policemen and 2 plainclothes policemen, and 1 passenger. He felt so lonely. Volunteers, delivering milk, shoveling coke, and many other jobs besides. And the zest of it all. Meanwhile, on and off at Downing Street, they continued to meet in hopes. Now, when we get inside, remember, you shut up and let me do the talking. But whoever did it, it didn't do any good.
Is London calling the British Isles? After 5 days of strike, the deadlock continues. This morning, at the London docks, 500 volunteers unloaded a shipment of flour. Convoys, accompanied by armoured cars, carried these supplies to emergency distribution centres set up in London's parks.
In London's Hyde Park, the government set up an emergency depot for milk, coal, and other essentials. Like the Boy Scouts, the government's motto was, be prepared. A cousin of mine was there, volunteer of course, building huts, sheds and storehouses, laying telephone wires and generally preparing for a long siege. By the way they were going about it, it seemed that they expected the strike to last for 10 years, so he says. Meetings and more meetings until, shrewdly concluding that the best tactic was to wait and see, Prime Minister Baldwin gave up and went for a walk in the garden. So the delegates went home. Wait and see. Tighten your belts. Wait and see and hope. That's how it was for 9 uncertain days.
This is London calling the British British Isles. The news has just been released from Downing Street that the leaders of the Trade Union Council have called off the general strike.
And that was it. All over. This was a strike, that was. And in Hyde Park for my cousin it was take it all down, pack it all up, cart it all away and put it all back. If you want to know the meaning of the term anticlimax, ask my cousin. He'll tell you in detail. And so people went back to work, many of them in truth wondering just exactly what the whole thing had been about. The poor miners came off the worst, stayed out until the winter, and hunger drove them back. Yes, the only coal being mined then was out of the pile my cousin had dumped in Hyde Park. Ever since then, his motto has been, never volunteer for anything, even if they ask you. And he doesn't, and they don't. The short, sharp shower was over. Yet after the strangest 9 days in her history, near revolution, some people have termed it, Britain didn't look any different. People were reticent about it, even Auntie Jessie. But all the same, the general strike taught them a thing or two, whatever side of the fence they were on. But if you ever feel inclined to try another general strike, well, chum, you've had it. Because after the first, they declared the practice illegal. So it looks as though 1926 will go down in history as the one and only short, sharp shower. Unless you count the reign of the Charleston. Oh no, not again.